In 2009, a young environmental researcher sat analyzing patterns in how cities adapt to climate change. Today, that same researcher helps the biggest SaaS companies figure out their growth moves. No fancy Silicon Valley background, no tech startup exits, just pure obsession with how patterns work. This is the story of Kyle Poyar and how skills learned studying climate adaptation become the secret weapon in building one of tech's most influential voices on LinkedIn. But before we dive into this incredible story, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, or hit the link that's under my name on this post. Every Wednesday, I break down how the most successful founders have built their empires. And today's story is different though, because this isn't about a typical tech success. It's about how completely different worlds can teach you exactly what you need to know. Let's go back to the beginning, back at Johns Hopkins University, where Kyle Poyar was living large, top of his class, magna cum laude. His senior thesis didn't just pass, it grabbed the department's highest award. When he landed the Ernest F. Holling Scholarship at NOAA, everyone thought his path was set. His first published paper was not about business metrics or customer success. No, it analyzed how cities adapt to environmental changes, the kind of deep pattern-focused research that would later shape his entire approach to business growth. But summer 2009 changed everything.
To the Select Committee on Energy Independence and Global Warming. Today's hearing is entitled New Energy Technologies, What's Around the Corner?
The American Clean Energy and Security Act hits Congress. This wasn't just another bill, it was the moment environmental professionals had been waiting for. A comprehensive plan to slash greenhouse gas emissions by 83% by 2050, create millions of clean energy jobs, pour $90 billion into renewable tech. For young researchers like Kyle, this meant everything. Real funding, clear career paths, a chance to make actual change. June 26, 2009. House passes the bill by just 7 votes, 219 to 212. Hope fills the air. Change feels possible, finally. Then, complete silence. The bill never even reaches the Senate floor. Young professionals who'd spent years studying climate science watched their futures disappear overnight. Research projects shut down. An entire generation of environmental experts left wondering, what are we going to do now? But here's where Kyle's story takes an unexpected turn. While other researchers got stuck in limbo, Kyle noticed something different. His real skill wasn't just about climate data, it was about finding patterns in complex systems. Simon Kucher and partners needed exactly that, someone who could analyze data and spot patterns. Sure, Kyle's patterns were usually about cities adapting to climate change, but businesses adapting to market shifts. So for 6 years, Kyle didn't just learn business. He started seeing the same patterns he'd found in climate research showing up in company growth. Cities adapting to environmental changes, not so different from companies adapting to market shifts, right? So resource allocation and climate response is similar to how companies disrupt their growth investments. So system-wide changes in environmental patterns are just like evolving business models. So by March 2016, Kyle walked into OpenView Ventures and he brought something different, a really unique way of looking at business growth and finding hidden patterns that no one else sees. Every project taught him something new about how companies grow. Each analysis added another piece to the puzzle: pricing strategies, growth metrics, customer behavior. It wasn't just a job anymore. It was research in disguise for what would come next. His projects followed 3 clear patterns. Number 1 was how companies price and package their value. Number 2 was when products can sell themselves. And number 3 is what makes customers stick around. So the real gold is in the data. And by March 2021, the world had gone remote for about a year, the fun COVID adventure. So while everyone else was still adapting to Zoom calls and virtual meetings, Kyle saw another pattern. Founders were struggling to figure out what actually drives growth. They needed clear, data-backed growth insights more than ever. And that's the beginning of Growth Unhinged. Growth Unhinged wasn't meant to be a newsletter empire. It started really simple. It was just sharing what he learned about helping companies grow. Kyle didn't just share random thoughts. He built a system for turning complex patterns into actionable insights. Number 1, he first recognized the hidden patterns, where success leaves patterns if you know where to look. Number 2, data over opinions. Number 3 is practical application knowledge. Without action is useless. Every insight gets turned into steps people can actually use. Here's what's crazy. He went from 0 subscribers to 40,000 by January 2024, past 50,000 subs by mid-year. Now Kyle's at over 60,000, where he's got his insights to make decisions every single week for people. He's also built his LinkedIn following to over 78,000, and not because he was chasing numbers, but because he's actually providing real value, real insights that actually help founders and people grow their companies. When most people talk about data, they throw numbers at you. Kyle did something different. He showed exactly why patterns matter. Everyone looked at individual metrics independently, and Kyle connected dots others missed. So let's break down exactly how he spots these patterns. So first, he looks for system-wide changes. Just like tracking climate shifts across different regions, he studies how various SaaS sectors respond to market changes. Second, he measures adaptation speed. In climate research, it was about how quickly cities implemented new policies. In SaaS, it's about how fast companies adjust their growth strategies. The third thing is that he focuses on interconnected effects. One change in the climate system affects multiple areas. So same with business, right? A pricing change impacts everything from customer behavior to growth rates. But all of these don't really matter if his presentation's bad, right? Content strategy is Kyle built his content system like a scientist mapping climate changes. Check out this Canva analysis in April 2024. Canceling his subscription, he spotted something you've likely missed. It's this brilliant retention strategy hidden in plain sight. The post hit over 9,000 reactions, not because it was clever, but because it showed exactly how a simple cancellation flow can turn potential churn into loyalty. You see that? Everything Kyle shares follows the same pattern. 1, he starts with real data. Number 2, he finds hidden patterns. Number 3, make it practical. Here's exactly how he structures his content. Right? The hook, always start with a surprising pattern he's discovered. Then he moves to the data and backs everything up with real numbers from his research. And number 3 is the breakdown, shows exactly how that pattern works, and then gives people an action plan. But here's what makes Kyle different. He never lost his researcher's mind. His content strategies are like scientific research strategies. Number 1 is case study breakdowns. Number 2 is data stories. Number 3 is AI analysis. Number 4 is tactical frameworks that actually work. This is where the environmental scientist really comes out of him. He breaks down complex business problems, clear steps, backed by data, proven by results. And then he shares it all like he's letting you in on a research finding. No corporate talks, no buzzwords, just clear insights about what works, backed by the same rigorous data analysis. That's why 60,000 people wait for his newsletter every week. That's why his LinkedIn posts regularly hit thousands of engagements. Think about this journey for a second. A college kid who once wrote about how cities handle climate change now helps the biggest tech companies figure out their growth moves. The researcher's mindset that demanded hard data and clear evidence is now helping thousands of founders build better companies. Here's what I want you to take away from Kyle's story. Number 1, your past skills matter more than you think. Whatever you've learned, wherever you've been, those skills can transform into something completely different and incredibly valuable. Number 2, patterns are everywhere. Whether it's climate change, company growth, finance growth, personal development, right? Like success leaves clues. Your superpower might be spotting patterns that others miss. Number 3 is start sharing what you know. How can you help me grow? Number 1, start posting on LinkedIn. Back every claim with data. Make everything actionable. Build your own pattern recognition system. The world doesn't always work out like we plan. Sometimes the skills we build from one path become exactly what we need for a completely different journey. If you want more founder breakdowns like this, hit the subscribe button below. Click the link under my name to get the weekly newsletter so you don't miss these strategies. I'll help you build your own brand voice. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday.